Hey guys, it's Tom. And today I'm going to talk about something I heard about this weekend that is just the most insane, crazy idea I've heard about in a long time. And that is the introduction of a vehicle known as a 50-year mortgage. Now, the idea behind it is to help people try to get into homeownership and do that. But what we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to learn how to calculate what your payment's going to be on that, what your interest and what your principal is going to be every time you make a payment. And I think I'm going to demonstrate that a 50-year mortgage is just not a viable option for any reason whatsoever. So before we get to that, if you end up liking this video, please click the like, subscribe, and alert bells, and that'll help me continue to make more video content for you. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll up here to where I've got a little template started. And right now I've got what's called a 15-year fixed mortgage. That means I'm going to make a payment every month for 15 years. At the end of that 15 years, I'm going to be paid off. Right now, we have the price of this house is $500,000. Interest rate is 5% annually. And I've already got the formulas in there. So for this particular mortgage, I know that my payment's going to be close to $4,000, be $3,954. And in the first year, I'm going to pay $24,478 in interest. But I'm also going to pay down close to $23,000 off of the price of the house. So by the end of this mortgage, I will have paid in total $211,714 in interest, and the total price for the house will end up being $711,000. Problem is with a 15-year mortgage, the payment is higher than most people can kind of swing. But if you can get into this mortgage and make that payment every month, that's probably the best way to go. So the first thing I want to do is show you guys how to calculate these numbers. So we're going to use three financial functions. Payment calculates the mortgage payment. Cum I payment is a cumulative interest payment, and then cum print is a cumulative principal between two periods. So let me go ahead and just delete those for now because we're going to make them all over again. So to calculate the payment, I'm going to use the payment function. I'll go to my function wizard. I'd look in my financial functions, but I've been using these, so I can just pick payment right here. And now what it's asking for in the arguments is the rate, the interest rate. Now I'm going to click on the interest rate, but that is the annual interest rate. That's how we think about it. The formula wants to see it per period. Because we're making 12 payments in a year, we're going to divide that interest rate by 12, and that will be our monthly nominal interest. Now the number of periods is the number of payments we're going to make of the loan. That's simply the length in years times 12 months again. Now we'll click present value. Nothing fancy about that. We're just going to click the price. And there's no future value and there's no type. So we will click OK. And we've got our mortgage payment. You'll see with a couple of these, they return the value as a negative. And that's because we're borrowing money. So paying back is kind of a negative. But if we just want to look at it in positives, all you have to do is put a negative in front of that function. And then it's easier for us to kind of consume. So now let's do the first year interest payments. We'll do functions, and that's going to be cum I payment, interest payment. Going to be very similar to the payment function. Let's do the rate the same way. And then we'll do the number of periods is number of years times 12. And the present value is the price. Now, here's the next couple things we have to do. The start period and the end period. This function will calculate the amount of interest between any two periods in your mortgage. So we want to do the 1 year of interest. Let's do the starting period is 1 and the ending period is 12. And then we have to set this last thing, which is the type. And at 0 or 1, we're just going to put 0. All that is saying is, are you making the payment at the beginning of the period? That's a 0. Or at the end of the period? That's a 1. It makes a little bit of difference in the results, but not huge. So we'll click OK there. Again, that came as the negative, so we'll go ahead and put the minus sign there to make it look good. And then the 1 year principal pay down. So we'll do the cum print function. Same thing, rate divided by 12, number of periods times 12, present value. Starting period is 1, ending period is 12, and the type is 0. Click OK. Make that the positive. And finally, let's do the total interest. And that's going to be key my payment, the rate again, number of periods, present value, starting period is 1, and the ending period is going to be, again, length of the mortgage times 12. And finally put the 0 for the end of the period. Click OK. Lastly, we'll adjust. Here's that negative. And this last cell just added up the price plus the total interest. So let's move this over and let's compare the 3 models of mortgages we're looking at. So I'm going to copy this over into E and G. And now I will make this the 30-year mortgage and the last column the 50-year mortgage. So looking first at the 15 versus the 30, most people in America have a 30-year mortgage. It's kind of has that balance of affordability and being able to pay it down and make some progress. With the 30-year, you're gonna make about $30,000 worth of payments here, and $7,000 that first year is going to go to principal, $24,000 interest, and that's opposed to the 15-year where $22,000 goes to principal, as well as $24,000 goes to interest. But your payment's a lot higher. It's close to $4,000, where we're at $2,700 with the 30-year mortgage. Okay. Total interest you'll pay on that house is $466,000. The total price for the house is close to twice the price of the house, $966,000. But now if we move over to the 50-year mortgage, keeping everything else the same, our mortgage price lowers by about $400. So we get that break every month. However, that makes a huge difference in the amount of principal we're paying down in those first couple of years. Now instead of paying $7,300, we're only paying $2,300, $5,000 less. That's why it's going to take us 20 more years to pay off this mortgage. By the end of it, we will have paid $862,000 in interest, making our total cost of the home $1.36 million. This is a non-starter, guys. Like, if you really, really want to get into a home and you really feel like it's the right thing to do, I still don't think you should go with a 50-year mortgage. You're just throwing away too much money and interest. There's too much opportunity cost. They could be doing something else. It could be invested or something. If you're in this camp, I would suggest you rent highly. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys this, show you how to calculate mortgage payments on your own if you're out there looking for houses with interest rates, and to just show you that I just think this 50-year mortgage thing is pretty much the worst idea I've heard in a long, long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, again, remember to click the like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think.